You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Go.
Hey, welcome to the Ages Rock podcast. This week, 27.5 is the episode. So we're calling this a mini episode because there's a lot of stuff going on this week. We don't have a lot of time. It's a family time week with Memorial Day coming up. I've got a son graduating. Dennis needs beauty sleep. We've already had that discussion earlier tonight. Thank God, he's hideous. And poor Alan, he's going to school and working a job. So we just got to have a mini episode. So that's what we're doing this week. I got a special guest right here. This is my pops. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Rick. Rick Algees, Bill's dad.
Okay, he's done. Go.
That's it.
Hey,
Sure.
two Algees are better than one,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So, we've had a couple episodes recently that we talked about, the one episode we had Under the Influence about, how you influenced your family or kids or whatever and who influenced you. So I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of influences you had, Dad, musically, either growing up or, and then, things that you've done with me and the kids and stuff like that with, from a different perspective and going to see Kiss for the first time and making me leave early. We're talking about that, by the way.
Oh, yeah. You've already talked about that. It's kind of funny. When I flew up to Indianapolis, my wife was looking through some old pictures, and she was trying to find a picture of Bill, the Christmas that he got the 4 Kiss albums with the individual, I don't know what they call that.
Solo albums.
Yeah, the solo albums. You guys talked about him here a couple of weeks ago, but couldn't find a picture, of course, but that's pretty crazy. He was about 12, 13 years old, and I get, 14 maybe.
Hmm? Yeah. I think they call it the fill up a cutout bin albums is what they call them.
2 for $1, $2 for $1.
But if you're asking me what influence music had on me,
what do you?
Gosh.
Because
you guys, you see, I'm a lot older than you guys now.
That's okay.
Okay, out of the three of you, who would know who Tommy Sands is?
Tommy Sands?
Look at that. Tommy Sands.
Dennis plays at a band called Cricket, a place called Crickets, and I think that's what
and you're from Evansville, right? You guys from Evansville?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I'm from Tell City area, but like I said,
Tommy Sands was probably one of the first. Of course, I went through the era with Elvis, and then, of course, you remember these guys after Elvis. Rock and roll became real hot with Fabian and Bobby Rydell and those guys.
Right.
And then Tommy Sands was maybe a little before them. And, of course, you've heard of Tuesday Weld. He was married to Tuesday Weld. You remember her?
She was a movie star, yes.
Huh?
Was she a movie star?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And but I remember I was probably 14 or 15 years old at the Strand Theater on Main Street in Evansville. And I don't know what the event was, but Tommy Sands was there. And, you can Google him, but he had a couple of hits. But he was, and it was just kind of crazy. You just kind of, when you're young, you start liking that kind of stuff and the music. And I remember I lived in California. Me and my cousin, we were both the same age. We grew up together. And our first record players were Sears High Fidelity record players. It was just a square box, and you opened it up, and the turntable was there in the arm. But the speakers, you could detach the speakers and move them out away from the record player. And there's a big, long, skinny wire.
Right.
And you set the speakers out, and that was stereo, high fidelity. That was the first thing that broke was the wire. Of course, they didn't last that. But I've seen in person. Actually, when I was younger, I seen Fats Domino.
That's cool.
Yeah, Fats
cool.
Domino with Bill's mom at the Executive Inn. Remember?
Right.
When the Executive Inn used to bring.
They had a showroom down there. I mean, it was big time.
And they had one in Owensboro. They had one in Owensboro. But I've seen Fats Domino there. Who else do I want to say? It was a composer. He did a lot of composing for, not Whitney Houston, her cousin. What was her name? Dionne Warwick. What's this guy's name?
Oh, Burt Bacharach.
Burt Bacharach, yeah.
Right.
But,
I win the trivia question of the night,
there
by
you
the
go.
way.
But my dad said, too, like when he was younger, he was talking about how Boots Randolph was big in Evansville.
Yeah.
In Owensboro area. I mean, he was playing a lot in this area. And that type of music, I mean.
Yeah, it was Boots Randolph. There was several guys that pretty much got big names, locally. I don't know if any of them made it to stardom or not, but Danny Rankin. You ever heard his name?
Right. I've heard of that, actually.
When we were teenagers, of course, we used to go to Lamy's Grove.
Oh, that was up near Fort Branch or Hopstad.
Yeah, and there was a local band called the Corvettes.
Corvettes. My father-in-law was he followed those guys a lot and went to Lamy's. I remember him talking about those guys.
Uh-huh. But I was a victim of all that good rock and roll, and a set of drums, and tried to play drums, guitar, and all that stuff, of course, which I didn't stay with it, of course. But one crazy thing was when the Beatles come along. That was 63.
Mm-hmm.
I was in high school. I was probably a sophomore at Old Central, and can you imagine this happening nowadays? I had a typing class. So the Beatles come along. I started wearing a Beatle haircut, the bangs, like George and all of them did, and the little Nehru white shirt with the, I think they call them sharkskin jackets, the suits and the boots. And my typing teacher told me one time, she said, if you don't get your hair cut, I'm going to give you an F in typing. And I got the F. But I kept my hair cut that way.
Now I know exactly why I get it.
Boy, and it just absolutely wrecked your career, didn't it? That F in typing.
But nowadays they want you, if you dress like a girl, it's fine.
Oh yeah, you
can be a guy and dress like a girl. They want you to be.
Some teacher telling you you're going to get an F if you get
your hair. Bathroom you want to, it doesn't matter anymore.
You just pick whatever bathroom you want.
But there was a lot I missed out on. I was working for the railroad in the early '60s. 1966 to 70, I worked in East St. Louis a lot. And I remember the Doors playing at Kiel Auditorium one night, and I didn't go.
Wow.
I could have seen the Doors. I could have seen Elvis. I didn't go. I'd never seen the Beatles. I could have went one time. But you look back and you kind of regret all that. But
right.
Yeah.
At the time, you think that stuff's going to be around forever.
Yeah. And you're busy doing other stuff. You're young, and I don't want to go to a concert tonight. I want to do some other stuff. But yeah,
who's somebody that you never got to see that you really wish you would have? That you really, I really wish I had seen them.
The Beatles, the Doors.
Beatles, of course. Yeah, the Beatles, the Doors.
Would you go see Paul McCartney now?
I'm not a big. It's kind of crazy. It's all of them when they broke. When the band broke up.
Yeah.
I could have went and seen Ringo Starr here not long ago. He played in Jacksonville.
He's a drummer. Yeah. Nobody likes the drummers, Dad.
Nobody likes him.
Nobody likes the drummers, the bass players.
But I've seen the original Three Dog Night group when they started back in the 70s. John Denver.
I would have loved to seen John Denver.
Oh, it was great.
You saw him at the stadium, didn't you?
I saw him at Roberts Stadium.
I remember that.
It was great. That was a great concert.
I remember that. That was a big deal.
Three Dog Night was good, but Alice Cooper, seen all the old ones, and then you go through a period of years where you really don't go to any concerts and stuff. You're working and you're got a family and raising kids again, little kids again, besides Bill.
We still go.
That's what he did.
It's kind of
so. Tell me about your first.
It's kind of odd being my age, though. And I'll say this: it's kind of even at my age now, I get in the car and play the radio. I don't. Well, first off, let's make this straight. I never did like Lawrence Welk.
Oh, well, good.
You guys don't even know who Lawrence Welk is.
My grandmother hated television, but when Lawrence Welk come on,
that was it.
She put it on that channel.
Oh, I had to watch it.
You were quiet for the Lawrence Welk show.
I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the best Lawrence Welk show now is the one on Saturday Night Live with Kristen Wiig, where she's got those little bitty hands.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but I still get in the car and I take off. If I'm going on a long drive, I play a lot of rock and roll stuff, just whatever's on. But yeah, it's always in your, it's in your blood. It's in your blood. That's the way it is.
Amen.
So, how many times have you seen Kiss?
Probably I've seen them 4 or 5 times. Yeah. I haven't seen them a whole lot, but I've taken to see Bill. I took Bill to see him. My younger son Nick, Chris, my other son, and
we've been a couple of times.
Yeah, we've been a few times.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You took me to see Cheap Trick. You took me to see Cheap Trick one time. I took a girl in the 8th grade. Mia, remember that? Mia Ross. Yep, we went to that.
Seen Cheap Trick and Alice Cooper and.
I took my dad to see Alice Cooper. My dad and my at the time 10-year-old son.
The spectrum.
The Generations.
That's exactly what it was.
Was it the Generations tour? That'd be fun. That's funny.
That is
So, What do you listen to now? So now you're just listening to like classic rock stuff.
And like I said, when I think that was that age. I mean, I was kind of fortunate. It was like, the mid '50s to the late '50s to the '60s, of course, when rock and roll started, and then
you were there for the birth of rock and roll. I mean,
right. And when you get into the early '60s, you had the British invasion. I liked all them groups, the Dave Clark Five and the Rolling Stones, and right. I mean, even now I get on, I'll Google stuff and look up to see if bands like the Kinks and the Zombies are ever coming around Jacksonville where I can see them, that kind of thing, But even to this day, me and Bill was talking earlier, like your newer entertainers, Adele. I would go to an Adele concert.
Yeah, if you want to spend $5,000.
Grandson was telling me today, we was riding around, we were talking about bands and things like that, and I said something about Adele. He said, well, I heard the nosebleed section for her seats are $300. But
yeah, I would just buy the CD and just sit there and listen to it at home all day long for $17.95 or whatever you pay for it.
I just like good music on the radio, and I don't buy a lot of CDs and things like that now. Kind of got out of all that, but
no, I buy them for him for Christmas, and I go there in the summer, and they're still wrapped up in the plastic, and they're still on the shelf.
What he needs, he needs a subscription to Spotify.
We can download Dave Grohl music, the Foo Fighters.
Now, you mentioned the Dave Clark Five. Well, it's funny because I never had heard of the Dave Clark Five for a long time, but it turns out I knew a lot of their songs because Kiss covered a Dave Clark Five song. Joan Jett has covered Dave Clark Five. There are several of the bands that I follow that have covered a Dave Clark Five song, so I pretty well know Dave Clark's greatest hits without ever having heard them perform but one or two of their songs.
Yeah. Well, it's good. Actually, and when I was 15 and a half, I got my first job, and that was at Lowe's Theater in Evansville, Lowe's Majestic. I'd have to work one or the other. I was an usher, and I remember when Help played there with the Beatle movie Help, and it was just insane. I mean, and even at that age, I still got the listen to those songs and especially watching them on screen. You get those chills, and it just stays with you,
Huh.
Yeah.
So we had an episode a couple of time, back a few episodes ago about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So there were a couple of rap groups that got nominated and put in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So how do you feel about rap music? Is that rock and roll? Does it belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Is it music? What's your
my personal opinion? It's 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 horrible.
It's horrible.
I just never did like rap music, and I don't care if it was Eminem or who it is, but I just never did do anything.
You named a rapper though,
huh?
You named a rapper. That's
I did.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I did, but to me, if anybody can rhyme some words together, it doesn't take a lot of talent to do that in my book, but.
It takes more talent.
Doesn't do anything for me.
About something in your pocket.
But pocket. Like I tell you what, even at my age, it's kind of odd. Like Michael Jackson, I always thought he was. I'd be around people at work. We'd be talking about entertainers and singers, and Michael Jackson's name would pop up. Oh God, this I hate it. I always liked Michael Jackson. I did. I thought he was talented. I mean, to this day, if I'm flipping the radio around and one of his songs is on there, I like listening to it.
Right.
Well, most of the music, the songs that he wrote, he would come in, or he had a little, just a little tape recorder, and he would hum a melody, what he wanted them to play, and that's how they would record a lot of their stuff, by what he hummed into a tape recorder.
Well, he was really talented.
He was.
Whether you like the guy or not, you have to give the guy props for.
He was eccentric, but that's
that's
what
true.
Happens,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right, you got any other questions for
Popsy here?
For Pops? So Dennis plays in a band now. He plays in a band, and then now Alan is going to be the lead singer of a band.
So Bill, when are you going to get your triangle out? And you're going to
so I can play. Oh, I tell you what. Here, I got you. Get entertain them for a minute. I'll be right back.
I hope you got pants on.
Where are you going? I do have pants on. Got to go get a triangle.
Now that he has stepped away, this is where you tell stories that would embarrass him.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
there are so many. Where do I start?
Do you guys get a lot of music that comes through Jacksonville? I guess Jacksonville would probably be a fairly.
We get a lot. They've got a theater there. I guess it was built back in the 20s or cowbell. They've got an old theater there. It was built in the 20s or 30s, the Florida Theater, and it's just a great venue for a concert. But I've seen Hall & Oates there, Styx, REO Speedwagon, and it's just a great. The Moody Blues. I've seen them like 3 times.
Right.
And of course, the big venue now in that area is in St. Augustine at the Amphitheater, and I've never been there actually.
Right.
Never been there at all. But and they get a lot of the older groups and stuff like that. And this is kind of crazy. But me and my wife, in probably the last 10 years, we went to a few doo-wop concerts with some of the old bands. Like the Tommy Marr and the those kind of bands.
Right.
Crests, and we like going to those. So we just like a little bit of everything.
That's good though. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He missed going to see Ace Frehley.
Yeah.
I told him about it like 3 times. He was just there. So here was the conversation. You could go see Ace Frehley. He goes, I have a Gibson guitar poster. I'll just have Ace sign it. I'm like, that's never going to happen. He's not going to talk.
Probably. I was going to give him free Disney tickets. I know he would have done it for that. Disney tickets in Florida.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ace Frehley, on the Metal Sludge Facebook page, somebody posted today that they know somebody who is in the know, and that after Kiss completes the summer tour that they're doing, they're bringing Ace Frehley back next year for a farewell tour and a farewell or a final album, and Peter Criss is not going to be involved. So
I can believe that.
Really, do we really want to see Ace Frehley in any kind of thing that resembles Lycra or spandex? No.
I don't want to see any of them in it, really.
And what's up with his hair now? It's like reddish, kind of. It's like he looks like the.
It doesn't matter because when they put the makeup on, he's going to be wearing a wig.
Oh, did you see that vid? I know we're going off topic now, but that picture of Bon Jovi, a friend of ours posted they've just finished their album.
I didn't even recognize them.
What's up with Bon? Even an advertisement?
Well, there are only Tico, Dave Bryan, and John.
But I'm talking about but I'm talking about John's hair. What in the hell's up with his hair?
Kind of gray.
He quit dyeing it, probably.
But it's fuzzy. I mean, it's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's hilarious.
It's on fire.
It is. It's funny as hell. I was like, that's great.
It's got peroxide burn or something.
It's like all these.
Hey, now that's not funny. I got peroxide burn when I used to do my hair white.
Is that what happened?
That shit hurts.
You burnt the shit out of
all these 50
hurts.
So now you got your hair follicles are like jacked. So you got nothing up there.
They're scorched.
The whole thing is all these 50s, our wives that thought John Bon Jovi was so hot. Show them that picture. Say, look at his hair.
Well, have you seen the commercial that he's in?
It's horrible.
That's Rhino. It's in a commercial.
Yeah, pay attention. There's a direct TV or something, but he's doing a commercial for some cable provider. It's pretty funny. It's stupid funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, back on whatever topic.
I don't know what the topic was.
Bill's dad.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah, we got guests. We got to stay with it. Sorry, I get off topic real easy.
Hey, I started it.
But I didn't really get when. I guess I don't know what the era or whatever. But the bands like Nirvana and those kind of groups and stuff.
That's grunge.
Is that grunge or what's alternative? That's something new.
It's kind of
the same.
So I went through about a 10-year period where I just I didn't get interested in any new music or any new groups and.
Right.
Really don't feel like I missed a lot.
Did you ever listen to in the early 70s? And so did you ever listen to Black Sabbath or anything like that? Was that?
I didn't listen to Black Sabbath, Bee Gees, stuff like that, the Moody Blues.
You listened to Bee Gees?
I listened to the Bee Gees. Yeah.
I know you did.
Yeah.
I like the Bee Gees. Hey, I like them. So.
Yeah, these were great. Yeah, but nah, Black Sabbath and I mean there were so many bands and it was you go back to the Dave Clark 5 thing. I remember when the Beatles was on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Right.
Actually, that was the first I would say most American teenagers ever seen them when they came on that show. But it was like the next day, it was the Rolling Stones. They were on TV all the time. They were still in England, of course,
Right.
but they were performing and they had footage of them. Everybody, of course, thought how ugly everybody in the band was, but it was the Beatles.
They're still ugly.
It was the Beatles. It was
Yeah.
the Rolling Stones, and it was the Dave Clark 5 for, like 6 months. It seems like, from the time I first seen them to about 6 months, and there was never any other bands, even in the English bands. And then you started getting the Kinks and the Zombies and Manfred Mann, and
Right.
and then it just went crazy. I mean, and everybody was in a band.
Right.
I mean, it's just crazy how fast. But the Americans, of course, the American entertainers, what groups kind of followed the British invasion? That's when you started getting bands like Aerosmith and
Right.
things like that. And they came later than that, so
Right.
So between
kind of odd that it went the way it did like that.
the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, which band did you prefer?
The Beatles, yeah. As far as you look back now, which of course they wasn't together that long, yeah, I'd say the Beatles, yeah.
Now, did you prefer the Beatles before or after the drug influences?
Or the Yellow Submarine album.
Yeah.
I liked them before.
And when everything became psychedelic,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That
Well,
changed.
see, that's what I think the Beatles are an interesting band, just for the fact of that they're two complete different bands. If you look at them, I mean, they went from these 4 clean cut,
Oh, yeah.
playing these 3-chord songs to the final. When they were doing it, they were this completely doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
They ended up being an experimental band.
Right. I mean, it was 2 complete different bands, and that's what I think. And there are 2 sets of people. There are the people who like the original Beatles, and there are the people who like the what they
Psychedelic Beatles.
Exactly. I mean,
I remember when that album came out, it was like, all of us kids liked the Beatles and everybody was crazy about them. And it was kind of odd because they had so many hits, in a row.
Right.
I mean, it was just like every week or every month they had a new hit. And then all of a sudden you didn't hear anything and it wasn't a long period from, you think, to go from the first Beatles to the second Beatles, it would take years and years, but it was like, they're making all these hits and they had a couple movies out and
they really weren't around that long.
No, for the total years, and then all of a sudden you didn't hear anything for about a month, and then that it was Yellow Submarine. That was the name of the album, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the name.
Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. That was the name, and that album came out, and the cover of it, and everybody just was like shocked. It was crazy. It was just, and a lot of people didn't like that. Really, they didn't. It's kind of like
a band like that too.
This is kind of crazy. I'm gonna bring this up.
it's kind of like Kiss, to where
You remember when Garth
Brooks?
Garth Brooks was real popular. This is country music, of course, but Garth Brooks was really hot and he was popular.
All right.
You remember the deal when he wanted
Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines, and he that was it. I hated Garth Brooks after that.
What the hell? I like to know the guy, the guy in the suit that said, "Hey, Garth."
I think he did it. It was his plan.
That was all Garth.
That was all him.
You don't think it was his manager's idea?
No,
huh?
it was all him.
Hey, this is going to make you.
This is what happens when you have more money than you have sense.
Chris Gaines, that's it.
You are 100% right about that. When you can make decisions on your own, and you can, that's just, oh man.
I don't need a yes man. I am my own yes man.
That is, you don't have to tell me I'm not doing it because I'm paying the bills. So
I've seen
a few bands that have self-produced themselves the last few times and not done very well.
Yeah.
You need it. Sometimes you need an outside influence telling you, say, look, hey, this is stupid. This is not right. This sounds bad or whatever.
But you guys have got. Me and Bill was talking. You guys have got to have an episode of some of these current entertainers we were talking about, like Radiohead. Is that in radio? You guys know who Radiohead is?
Yeah.
Well, Bill didn't know who he was. I don't
know. I knew
the
I knew
lead
they
singer.
are. I don't know
the
what their
lead
songs
singer and My Morning Jacket.
Oh, I've heard of those guys. Yeah.
Okay. I can watch them on Palladium or some kind of video, and all I want to do is throw up. I mean, am I allowed to say that on here?
Oh yeah,
You're allowed to say whatever you want.
Yeah,
say whatever the hell you
the lead
want.
singer for Radiohead.
at some point, Bill will give you a list of the words you can't say because I've pretty well said most of them.
One
I
word.
I'll sit at home and I flip it late at night. My wife's reading, and I'll flip it from the History Channel, so I can watch about World War II, or I go to Palladius so I can see if Jules Holland. I like that show, and Daryl's House.
Daryl's House.
Oh, I like Daryl's House.
Sometimes, and then I flip it on there, and here's Radiohead on there, and it's been a couple of times it's been on there. I told my wife, I said, you got to watch this, and she's hearing impaired, so it's on closed captions. So he's singing the songs, and he's making he's singing things like, this box is empty. He'll say it like 50 times for 10 minutes, and she's looking at the closed caption, and she says, is he singing this box is empty? She says, why are you watching that if you hate it? I said, I've got to watch it because it's so damn stupid.
So basically you're saying that this band actually makes hearing impaired people not like him either.
Oh my gosh. Maybe that's why they're popular. They can bring hearing impaired people to life.
It's like, oh man, we hate somebody too.
When you can make somebody that's hearing impaired change the channel. That's not good.
You just say it's a box 50 times in a row.
Oh my
I'm pretty
gosh.
sure we just offended
That's
about 40
funny.
different people. I'm pretty,
In my morning jacket, lead singer, I don't know the lead singer, none of them. He's got this bushy hair, which I got a lot of room to talk. And then as soon as they play the first note, he's bent over and he's got his head about a foot off the ground and just shaking his head back and forth. My wife's looking at that, and she said, I think we're about due for another doo-wop concert.
That's awesome.
That's funny. All right. Thanks, Dad, for hanging out with us. Well,
Oh,
appreciate it.
Man, we really do appreciate it.
Yes,
Two algaes are better than one.
Well, there's a bunch of Algees running around now. We got.
Oh, I heard. Yeah, this weekend you got a whole house full of that.
It's going to be crazy.
I had a little new granddaughter here about 4 weeks ago. Yeah, so.
Awesome.
Right on.
A little nutty.
Okay, so you guys want me to get out of here now?
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
Okay, bye. I'll see you guys.
See ya.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
Thank you.
I don't want to do this. Let me have the whole show.
Yeah.
Really?
I'll be back now. When you going to next Thursday? I'll fly back.
I was going to fly up next Thursday. I could teach him how to use Skype, but none of us have enough life left to do that. We'll all be dead before he is. Good God.
It's time.
A Radiohead CD.
All right. He's going to go listen to his Radiohead CD.
That's funny.
Man, I'll never
I'll
forget.
teach you how to use iTunes someday, bub.
I bought my mom and dad a stereo one time and a receiver, and they were redoing some stuff, and they were trying to get it hooked back up, and they couldn't get it to work. And I mean, I was on the phone for at least 45 minutes, and like, okay, you sure it's that way? You got the RCA plugs, yeah. And I heard my mom background going, does this plug need to be plugged in? This is the power button. I'm like, okay, yeah.
The power cord? Yeah.
That's the one you need plugged in first. Yeah,
That's the one you got to have.
and then everything worked. Yeah.
Yeah, I've showed him how to download pictures on photos off his SD card for about 400 times.
Hey, they'll tell him one thing. Tell him I didn't go see Barry Manilow. I didn't do that.
Oh, I can't say that. He wanted me to let you know that he's never seen. He never went to see Barry Manilow. He would never do it.
Oh, I'd be right there.
Barry Manilow fan. He's mad.
I love it. I'm a fan of
We're fanalos. Come on.
both are panelists. Mom went. I didn't get to go.
But back then you had the Manilows. Now you got the Millenniums.
Oh yeah, man, he's such a comic.
How funny.
So rock news real quick. We've got a couple.
I heard that Nicky's now. He decided that it's not profitable
because somebody smacked him around a little bit.
Well, it's not profitable to say anything bad about Gene, so now he wants to make up and figures maybe that'll get his name in the news for at least another week. And hey, have you guys ever heard of a thing called is it Yorn? YOU? See, God damn it!
Here we go. Every show.
No, there's a guy. Amy sent me this thing the other day. The Ding woman. She sent me a message and she says, "Have you checked out?"
Ding woman.
Well, the Ding. I would say Ding man.
We know who she is.
Okay, the Ding man. Anyway, she sent me a thing and she's like, "Have you ever heard of this guy? Is JORN?"
Yeah, he did. He's done several Kiss covers.
He does a bunch of. He did Paul Stanley's "Live to Win."
Yeah.
He does this new one called "There's Something Going On." It's on his new album called Heavy Rock Radio coming up. Dude, this guy is, badass, and he sings a bunch. What?
I'm just messing with Bill.
No, but he sings.
What the hell's going on?
If you go on to YouTube, he sings a shit gob of
shit gob. That's a whole lot.
It's kind of shit gob is a little bit more than a buttload. So,
well, a shit gob is a result of a buttload, isn't it?
That's true. But anyway, he's a dead on Dio. He does Dio almost exact. He's got a recording of "Perfect Strangers" by Deep Purple that is just, right on. Actually,
it's called JORN.
Yeah,
JORN. He's from like Sweden or something like that.
Yeah, he is really good.
He's an older guy, big gray hair, long gray hair dude. But
he is really good. I was just doing the thumbs down and making faces just to rattle Dennis's chain.
But no, he does a lot of basically a lot of cover tunes. Actually, he did when they did the Dio tribute show. They brought him out to sing whenever Tommy Iommi came out to play. He was the singer that on the stage at that point. So he's real good. So that's something new that I hadn't heard before. What? Bill, what are you looking at now?
Well, Alex is walking in here.
Oh.
He's like okay, totally distracted. He's like sneaking in here, which totally he just didn't walk in, grab what he wanted. He's like a cat.
He goes, it's that heathens on the computer.
Heathens of rock.
By the way, he's going to the state in track. He qualified for state.
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Oh,
yeah.
It's guest night.
Hey, it's Lisa. What's up?
Hi.
Everybody meet Mrs. Bill Algee,
That's Mrs.
also
Bill.
known as
You're
Lisa.
done taping.
We're still taping.
on.
You are?
Yeah, you're on.
We're still. You're on.
You're on this episode. Yay!
Oh, she's so excited.
It's an algae-filled episode.
It is.
Yeah.
Don't get some algae on you. It's not good for you.
And I like my Ages of Rock.
Cool. You like your mouse pad?
Yes.
I love that. A pen. It's awesome.
That was awesome.
It was so funny. There's a guy at work every day, or about every other day. We're sitting there at lunch, and I always go, "Can I borrow your pen?" He's always like going, "Damn it. Why don't you get your own pen?" Blah, 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 blah. So I had my brand new pen in my bag, and I go, "Hey, Bobby, can I borrow your pen?" He goes like going, "Damn it." I go, "Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I have my Ages of Rock pen. I'll use my own."
Awesome.
It was a great setup, and he fell for it. It was like going, "What?" I go,
Perfect.
"Okay." So
Sweet.
yeah, that was awesome. Thanks you for sending those. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, that was fun. It was cool. I was doing that other day on the porch. We were talking about the logo and stuff. I was messing with it then. So that's cool. Yeah. So the news I have today is I'm really, really excited to see you.
Hey, Lisa.
Real excited to hear that the original Dokken is going to get back together and do 6 shows in Japan. Until I started reading the article from there was an interview with Mitch with Mick Brown, and I haven't listened to the interview yet, but the excerpts I've seen from it.
This is going to be hard.
This is going to be Mick's like, I don't know why we're doing this because we're not doing this for the right reasons. And
it never works out. And it's like,
and I'm like, well, let's just start off in the shitter because that's what's good. God. So as much as I want this to work, but it was the article is kind of cool. It talked to, he said it might work this time because he owns the band. Right. So Don owns the band and it's his band. And if they don't want to do what he says, you just tell him to go blow it. So we'll see what happens.
It's kind of like an auction. Exciting. It's kind of like an auction. Bid early, go early to make sure.
Well, and for me that'd be like the Van Halen reunion with David Lee Roth or the Guns N' Roses reunion. You better go the first show because there may not be a second show because they may not get it. They may not make it that far. But I'd like for them to do a couple shows in the U.S. It'd be awesome.
I'd love to see one. I would love to see it.
So I know Don can't sing anymore as much as he could. I've seen it on TV, and it is what it is. They're all older, right?
It's called tuning down. They're tuning.
That's what I say. Tune down a step. He'll be fine.
Okay with that. You just have to go. You just have to realize that they're not going to sound like they did 20, 30 years ago. Nobody does. I don't sound like I did 20 years ago. I'm pretty sure I'm tuned down.
Yeah.
Not toned down.
Tone deaf.
I'm not. I'm tone deaf. So that's it for me. It's all the rock news I got.
All right. Well, like I said, this was we were pushing to not. Well, we were only going to have an episode this week, and then like I said, you were lucky you called us tonight and said somebody your dad wanted to come on. So I thought that's great. We at least get a short show out this week.
He said I didn't say that because actually he didn't say that. I wanted him to come on.
That's good though. It worked out great. It's awesome. Awesome.
So, all right. Well, there you go. So that's episode 27.5.
There you go.
Visit us on agesofrock.com.
Yep.
Hashtag
podcast.
I won't tell you my hashtag that I sent a while ago.
Peace out, folks.
See you later.